All right. Welcome to everyone. Welcome everyone. Um, we started a bit late. Unfortunately, there were some few technical glitches, some minor issues that we had to deal with. Uh, so yeah, I am now officially starting the business of the day, and I am welcoming everyone to this live stream. This is the Delft Fundraiser Online Chess Battle, which is hosted by Delft Chess Club. The agenda for today and the agenda of this tournament is that we are trying to fundraise for some kids who are talented and would like to participate in the nationals coming up in December. So yeah, we are there. We are there. In fact, let me just turn quickly to some of the games that are being played so that we may be able to see actually what the tournament is about at least. And yeah, so we have a few schools that have actually come through and are participating in the tournament. We'll go into the games um, in time, but I just wanted to also lay down a few intros, and then after that we can actually jump into the games. And 9 schools entered. Shout out to some of the schools that couldn't enter, but at the same time they actually, were kind enough to support, and we appreciate it a lot. Shout out to, should I say them live? I think I should. Shout out to the Range High School. Shout out to Boston Primary School. Shout out to Gordons Bay Primary. And the rest of the schools perhaps that I might have forgotten as well. Shout to them. Thank you very much for the support, the love and the warmth. Even though you're not participating, but at the same time you are showing, that you actually love the game very much, that you support as well the children that are involved in it. And so we appreciate that greatly as well. Just in the lineup before we actually jump into the games a bit. Yeah, let me just show some of the primary schools that are participating in the tournament. This is not all of them. I think I'm missing one of the schools, considering that I did not have a logo for the school. So yeah, I'll just mention it as well. So yeah, Matrosberg Primary School, Sakama Primary School, Somerset House Prep School, Edgemead Primary School, Panorama Primary School, and Emitini Primary School as well. Schools, 7 in fact, with Aberdare Primary that are now actually participating. And then for the high schools, it is Bergvliet High School, President High School, Heathfield High School, Rosenau High School, Edgemead High School, Milnerton High School, Merrifield College. Joining us, in fact, all the way from the Eastern Cape in East London, Merrifield College, Hoërskool DF Milan, and also Fairmont High School. Some of the schools that actually participated in the well-known Battle Boards Arena and now actually graced us with their presence as well. So to those schools, thank you very much, and also to the primary schools as well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yes, let's actually check it out. Let's check it out. We are going to the primary schools. Let's see. So far, Edgemead Primary is actually leading with 24 points. That is crazy. And the runner-up is on 17 points only. Well, the runner-up is actually playing with only 4 players in the team, which might actually affect them. So the tournament is set up for 5 players to play, and yeah, um, it becomes a difficulty when players are not there, and I think Edgemead is indicating it a bit. So yeah, retrospect not so far off, but is in a very difficult position where perhaps most of the games must be must wins, considering that now they're only on 4 players. Asimanye, sorry, Aberde Primary School with 3 players. Asimanye being the player that's now leading for the school. Somerset Primary trailing behind a bit. Um, and then Team Panorama Primary under 13 also trailing behind a bit. Still, some of the players are on 0, and Super Gamma Primary, some players have actually entered, and there we go. And MET Primary as well in the tournament. At the moment, amongst the players, Asimanya, the one leading the tournament. So let's just see some of the games here. Let's just see Kyle Silver from Matrosberg is playing. The black pieces here. Let's just click on the game and see what's going on. Ah, there we go. I see. I'm on the wrong side of the board. Okay, there we go. I'm supposed to be here. Alright, there we go. So, a point there for Matrosberg. Nice, 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 nice. Let's just see the rest of the people, how they are doing. Let's see, the top seed is kind of not playing yet. What's going on here? Okay, lost game now. I see. And let's just check here what's going on. I would like to see how, well, we can start perhaps with Trosberg, some of the top players here. Let's see this game here, which would be this one here, right? There we go. Okay, so was a Q 1 2 3 4 playing the black pieces, and he plays a kind of Sicilian defense here with e6. This would be the Khan variation, but I'm not sure because now it's entering to some other lines like the Rossolimo sauce. So let's see what's gonna go on here. This would be interesting matchup here. Rahil Blitz. Let me just see here, from which team is he? And oh my goodness, a quick trap of Bishop there. Oh, that is that's sad a bit. But hopefully, let's see if he can recover. So castle, the bishop is taken. Okay, now Wazo's Q is opening the center a bit, and I'm not sure whether that would be a good decision considering that he hasn't castled yet. He might actually regret that decision. Yeah, and I think the only trump for white here would be to try to keep the king in the center as much as possible. Not sure if knight g5 actually achieves the intended idea, but let's see. Hopefully, if he falls for this trap here, then queen h5 might be a strong move, but to be seen what's going to happen there. Queen h5, perhaps g6 might be meeting it there. Also, queen f3, 95 also is an idea, just putting pressure on the bishop on e7. And you must also consider that when the queen stands here, there's some few things that are actually loose. Knight f6, I think it's a good move. So yeah, the moment that black actually castles, I think his problem is over and he can actually realize his piece advantage there. So I think it's going to be an intriguing game. It's going to be an intriguing game, definitely. Okay, let's just look at some more from the primary schools, and then after that we can switch on to the high schools. So that would be your Matrosberg, there's Somerset House. Okay, oh, that's Edgemead. So that's the top players that are playing there on the first two boards. Now let's see where the other players are playing. So here's Team Panorama that I'm seeing there. Okay, it looks like the game is done here. Some endgame here, but black, I think, is a bit lost considering the position of the white pieces, and not only that, but white actually has so many pieces and now actually gains the rook as well. So that actually should finalize the position there, unfortunately for um, Matthew. Unfortunately for Matthew. And yeah, well, some tricks a bit, because you might be able to play for a stalemate of sorts. I think perhaps that's what he's aiming for, but I think Team Panorama should be able to um, wrap this up without any difficulties. So I think the scores here should be settled. We'll actually see if we can actually catch up with that game a bit again. Well, let's see some other games, how things are actually going. Let's see Sopakama. I'd like to see what's going on with the Sopakama chess team there. What's going on there? Okay, so he's getting the rook a bit. Getting a change. The king has been taken out of the protection behind the back rank, king on castle, and yeah, this looks a bit difficult here, because now so many issues when you have your king on f3. And exactly, he gives up material, but it makes sense a bit, trying to get some pieces out, like the queen perhaps, to join the game. So f6, I think, oh wow, okay, so I think queen f6 was the proper move there, so that the queen can look at the king. But now I don't know. And now black is sort of retreating, which, and one of the things that's important is that whenever you get an opportunity like this, you have to capitalize on it as quickly as possible. If you find moves like g3 bishop 2, perhaps you might actually um, miss the chance. But okay, queen d5 unfortunately is check. and you actually gain the knight. So I think that was ill-timed by black, and now sorry, by white, and now there's going to be another check as well when he captures the knight. So not a good result there. Okay, queen f3, much more brave. I'd perhaps consider removing the one that's giving my king a bit of issues, but this one also works because now he can still go queen d5 and actually gain the knight again. So still good, still good, still good, still good. So yeah, I think black should have a much better opportunity here to actually shine. Okay, Tukumbana there, playing very, very well, which is very interesting there. So nice, nice, nice. Edge mid, I think, um, might be in a difficulty in this game, but hopefully in the next game perhaps might be able to recover a bit. So yeah. And let's switch on to the high school so that we can just see also how um, the big boys are doing that side. Switch on to high schools and see how they are also um, dealing with the tournament here. There we go. Okay, so what's happening with the high schools? At the moment, Boston actually leading the tournament, which is amazing, interesting. Milnerton High School second place, and Fairmont actually trailing behind on third place. But it's a close call. I mean, the from fourth place to first place is just 7 points apart from each other. 2 points apart from each other, first place and second place. And yeah, not so far, not so far. So it's a close contest at the moment, but we'll see what happens perhaps when we reach the halfway mark of the tournament. Heathfield also um, trying to keep it in as well as Edgemead doing good both in primary and high school. So nice for them there. Now let's see the top players, perhaps what's going on in the position. So we have, I believe, Donut DJ versus from BHS versus Vivia Defense from President High School. And let's check it out. Let's check it out, see what's going on. Okay, so is that the game completed there? Unfortunately, that was quick. So let's just see what's going on here. Kind of names are Indian, and capture bishop g7. Well, too much expansion for black, but somewhere somehow it actually works out, and he resigns in this position. That's intriguing. I mean, okay, some issues to deal with, yeah, but I think that was premature to actually resign. Perhaps, for example, a move like d5, h4, then d takes e6, trying to disturb the pawn structure this side would have been something to consider. But okay, unfortunately, it was a difficult position there. Yeah, wow, okay. So I think that's a score for, not for BHS, but for President, yeah? So Vivia scores another point there, and I think perhaps he's the one that's leading the tournament at the moment with 20 points. And DJ Donut 21, only trailing behind with 12 points. A very distant It's a very huge distance between the two players. So yeah, and third place is also on 12 points. So that's crazy. That's crazy. Vivia defense doing the most at the moment. Okay, he started his second game there. Let's see. Oh, what school? DF Milan. Let's go there. See what's going on again. So we're looking at a game between Vivia Defense, who's from President High School, and Anthony 123 from DF Milan. Difficulty here. There's a sacrifice of a pawn that has happened, but now the king is a bit unsafe. So to be seen what's going to happen. The queen, I believe, will be heading to g6 to just destabilize the king there. But the problem with white, of course, is that all the pieces are not yet out, and so the queen is not sufficient enough to create an attack. But at the same time, this is not a game where things happen very quickly. Yeah, this is a permanent advantage. Bishop e3, I don't think would have been the good move. Knight f3 perhaps, c takes d4 and knight e5. I think with the idea of queen g6 mate, that perhaps might have been a much more difficult idea to meet. It would be asking a lot of questions. So yeah, so c takes d4, bishop takes d4, I'm expecting. Yeah, but now I think with knight c6, I think perhaps black doesn't have much to worry about. Soon this queen might be coming to d6, sorry, d6, and a queenside castle might be seen. And if white doesn't do anything now, then he might lose the opportunity to punish the fact that these spots are open. Here king is somewhat exposed, so he'll have to do something quickly. So yeah, let's just see. Yeah, and apologies if you are hearing a chewing effect. I'm just munching on my snacks as well a bit while I'm enjoying the tournament. Almost said enjoying the popcorn. So yeah, anyway, let's just see what's gonna happen amongst these players. Just remove those green lines there. Okay, now the king is in the center. I think this knight belongs on this square, so perhaps it would have been better to go this way. Queen of f3. Now black is also, you know, kind of throwing some stones at white as well. So yeah, queen e4 is also on its way to trade off material. Knight on d2, a move that you don't really want to play, especially when you are attacking, but unfortunately was necessary in this position. Or a move that's retreats, or bishop rook onto a3, h3. Yeah, you don't want to leave your pieces hanging this way. But with knight d2, at least you are giving yourself a chance to castle, get the rook also into the center as well as the other rook into the center. So might be an idea there. We'll come back and see what happens between these players. And for now, we can just take a tour again. Still now 2 points away from claiming first place. Okay, Fairmont now coming up a bit. Milnerton as well coming up a bit. President still a bit trailing behind, but yeah. I think the person that's mostly packing the punches here is Vivia Defense. And so some of the players for President High have to, you know, pick up the ball a bit. Otherwise, they stand a chance to do well in the tournament, even perhaps win it, considering that Vivia defense is um, giving out 60%, I believe, of the total score of the team. He's the one that's actually providing the knocks there. So, yeah. Okay, let's look at another game. Who do we pick here? Okay, Matthew Webster, 99, PHS. But I want to see some other schools as well. Let's see Milner Tenai. How is it doing against Edgemead? And then perhaps we'll go and look at Heathfield High as well. So, yep, there we go. Here is the game. Oh, nice. And it's starting out a bit, but what does it look like? Some type of Italian defense with d takes e5 or with e5. Let's just see what happened here. Ah, this type of line. D takes e5, bishop c5, bishop e3. Yeah, you don't want to, resolve the position in this way. As well as 94 wouldn't have been, I don't know. Is there some ideas here with queen e2, f4, perhaps? But anyway, this is what happened, and queen h4, and now there's already so many difficulties for the black position, for the white position, I mean. 93 looks playable. Knight onto f3, and we just maintain queen into h6, so you cannot capture here because the rook will still be taken. So yeah, opening gone wrong. He decides to sacrifice the exchange. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough time to actually put pressure on the position as compensation for the trade-off. So unfortunately, for white, it seems as if they just lost the rook for no reason here. The exchange, technically, for no reason. So yeah, hectic. Queen g4 trying to grasp at something, but I think this is just grasping at straws. The idea would have been a bit potent if the bishop on c1 was still available, but at the same time it would take about 2 tempi to get out of the position. Castle, and now we see that already potentials of coming out here, potentials of d6 winning a piece are there. So I think white should just perhaps, try to solve the problems of getting the pieces coordinated, and hopefully some way, somehow create a fortress. Oh, this move. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Now rook d8, and you're bringing another piece to close the very king that's already in trouble a bit. Rook onto e8. Now the king has nowhere to go because this square is covered, so even if you want to castle, you cannot. It would be an illegal move. Troubles already in this game. And let's look at one more. Then after that we switch on to the primary schools again. So Heathfield High has a player, Faidodo Stuvsky. Very interesting type of Russian name there for Heathfield. And 10 points at the moment for the player. So let's see how he is playing. He's playing the Verdict, who's ranked number 21 at the moment, and he is 8th in the tournament. So yeah, it's kind of Sicilian, not Sicilian really, but let's just see. Oh, it's kind of Sicilian, yeah, and then e5, yeah. Okay, so we are here. Let's just see what happened here. pawn goes to c5. I'm not sure what the idea with that is. You should have just gone back and accepted the fact that you'll have to spend some time developing again. But to give away a pawn like this, I think, is careless. Okay, e6, 95. I'm seeing that idea. But is it worth it, though, to give a pawn away for that? Because now, I mean, okay, now if queen d4, knight d5, then there's still moves like c5 that will be problematic. So yeah, I don't know whether that's quite a good idea. Or perhaps the prelude would be first castle away here and then go for the move c4. Perhaps even bishop g5, I'm not sure. It looks as if it's more nicely actively placed position for white. I think perhaps bishop g5 might not be that accurate. Okay, I was afraid of that because knight b4 might threaten knight c2, then you'll have to take the knight out on a3. So, but now, okay, he played it a bit. And now, you know, with knight c6, you'll have a queen that's being pestered a bit and yeah, unnecessary stuff. So I think you should have castled there and then came out to solve these issues. Yeah. Okay, let's just look again. I think we're still in the opening phase. Okay, I think you found a nice move there with queen e4, just hitting the rook and also protecting c2 square. So yeah, quite good. Ah, Fairmont High now taking the leaderboard. And what you see with Fairmont High is that there's a much more consistent teamwork. Matthew Webster on 12 points, and the rest of them actually trailing behind nicely behind him as well. Irregular Mystery, 16 points, 12.86. Milnerton also kind of has a nice a team that's putting some nice blows. And the president is being affected by the fact that it's depending on only one player to actually, you know, bring out the scores. Okay, Heathfield still struggling a bit, but yeah, let's see how they manage. The Roses Chess Club has no players, and okay, so that's hectic there. But yeah, for those who are joining, we are following the Delft Fundraiser Online Chess Tournament, which is hosted by Delft Chess Club. And the idea of the tournament, of course, is to fundraise for some kids that have qualified to go to the nationals in Eastern Cape. The Mzansi Youth Inter-Provincial Chess Championships is the correct term of the tournament. And we are actually looking at the duel between 7 primary school players or schools. We are also looking at the duel between 9 high school teams. 7 primary school teams would be Matrosberg, Sopagama, Somerset, Edgemead, Panorama, Emitini, sorry. And then the 7th school would be Aberdare Primary, which I couldn't put here because they don't have a logo that I could use. And then the high schools. Bergfleet High School, which led the tournament a bit. President High School, Heathfield High School, Rosenal High School, Edgemead High School, Milnerton, Merrifield, Hoërskool DF Milan, and Fairmont High School. Fairmont High School is currently the leader amongst the high schools. I think perhaps we should actually turn our attention again to the primary schools to just see who are the leaderboards on that side. Edgemead Primary still has it. Shoo! The 2 players on board 1 and board 2. And yeah, they are packing a punch. packing a punch in the tournament. Those two players alone are sufficient to actually maintain first place for Edgemead Primary School, because their combined points of 40 points, and the second place team only has 36 points. So very difficult, very difficult, very difficult. Matrosberg, of course, suffering a bit because they do not have their fourth team player, I guess. The fifth team player, I guess. Yeah, Kyle Silver currently leading the way for the team, and two players now for Emitini that are in. For Aberdeen Primary School, still difficulties as they haven't won in a time. And let's look at what's going on in the tournament. We left the tournament with Asimanya, who was actually leading at some point. And now the person that's leading is the Colomiga. Wow. Okay, the Sweet Ray second place, Edgemead. Kyle Silver now third place, and then Carlton CR7s is on fourth place. Asimanya trailing only on the fifth place. Lost both his previous games, has played so far 6 games. So yeah, Zix Zwarts now on 12 points as well. So we can see that yeah, trailing behind some of the players. Okay, so what's going on here? This is the leaderboards. Board number 5 versus board number 2. In a very interesting position here. We just think the sound should be okay though. Let's see what's going on. And yeah, things are looking good. Knight, some captures there. A pin on the knight. Very intriguing stuff going on here in this game. Okay, but yeah, now it just damages the structure a bit for um, the player, unfortunately. But I think it wasn't played so well. I think E takes f3 for G takes h5 would have opened the G file and doubled the pawns here, and this would have been a more accessible idea with the pawn on f3, defended nicely, and perhaps checkmate would have been a bit easier. But now, okay, this one is also not so bad, but perhaps not the best. Perhaps not the best line. Okay, so coming, well, I think this one is clear. The queen up should be sufficient to win. We just need to involve the rook, and then everything is sorted. Too many advantages in this position, and eventually Sweet Ray throws in the towel and says, "Hey, that's enough. That's enough." Oh yeah, okay, nice there. Let's return quickly to the tournament, see what's happening with the other players. Oh yeah, and the idea with this tournament was that as much as we are fundraising, some of the things that we saw that are still some of us have not yet caught up with, or the South African community has not yet actually laid a firm foothold on, is that we have not done anything with the online platforms. And why not actually try to organize things that will allow not just provinces internally to communicate, not just cities to communicate, schools in the provinces, schools in the cities, but also schools across the country as well. And so this was what we were actually aiming for. Okay, I see that I'm getting a message on the other side that perhaps some player is complaining about something. Let me just see what's going on. So yeah, that's the idea of the tournament, that we want to ensure that we create a conversation um, amongst the schools. Yeah, I'm just responding to this person here. Apparently his game got defaulted, and now he's asking how did that happen. Of course, I mean, if you don't play and you're not on your board when you have to start playing, then unfortunately the point is passed on to the other player. So yeah, this is different to the usual tournaments where, for example, if you're playing a club tournament, then the time just goes down, and even if, for example, you're 2 minutes late, you still are able to actually participate. This is more of a battle arena, which depends on the fact that where scores depend on the fact that players pitch on time, play on time, and time is a factor in the tournament as well. So we can't really have the case where um, a player does not play on time and then still expects that the clock is going to run down. So yeah. Anyway, let's just look at what's happening here. The Colomiga is playing Carlton CR7, but we want to look at other people as well. Okay, Supagama Primary, I haven't yet seen anything much from them. And then I actually want to check out Somerset Primary. So Nigitemba having a really bad time against Rahil Blitz. Rahil now with 2 queens. At the moment, because of the presence of this pawn, no chance for any form of stalemate. And there's a checkmate right there on the board. Okay, Rahil Blitz, nice 15 points gained there. So nice for them, kudos. Let's see. What school have I not yet looked at? Somerset House. Max Kimmich now on 16 points. Team Panorama. I saw Zigzwat's game a bit. Sopagama Primary. Aberdeen Primary. Still trailing behind. Let's just see. I think Asimanye. Okay, let me just see some other people. What's going on there? Mr. Softstep from Aberdeen Primary. Let's just see what's going on there. easy stuff, but some accidents can happen here. I mean, high chances of stalemate, but I think you should be able to clean this position up. You just push the pawn twice and that's mate. So twice pushing and that should be game over. Oh, nice. And he finds a quicker way to actually do the job. South step. Nice touch there. Nice touch there. And let's see. Still, the leaders are Edgemead and Matrosberg following behind. The gap is just so big, and I have huge doubts if these players should actually continue with the rate in which they are continuing. I think high chances are that they can actually take this tournament. We have 49 minutes left, but very difficult to actually see how things are actually going to turn out. So yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, let's just see. Somerset House there, super chess moves playing there, and let's just see what's going on between these two players here. All right, opening territory, nothing much to say here. Bishop c4. I think just okay. That's very big in there. Okay, so he left the game again. Yeah. So this was the same player that was actually complaining that his game was defaulted. So I think it's the same thing here again. Perhaps there was a countdown of time, and again, the tournament is quite strict in the way that it does things, because the moment that you take too much time, um, it assumes that perhaps you might not actually be on your board, and then a countdown actually begins. So you have to play within that countdown, and yeah, hectic. That way he loses another game. Let's see, Emitini, 5th place. Wow, okay, so all the way to MKB. It's actually putting in some of the work there. Let's see what's he doing against Zigzwarts. We'd like to see what goes on there. Yeah, so a very difficult position here. Bishop b5, Zigzwarts attacking the knight. What's going on here? Pawn onto g5 played, and let's just see what's going on. So e5 captures g5. Oh, traps the bishop immediately. The bishop was trying to protect the pawn, but unfortunately now found itself trapped a bit. Knight onto f3. Shoo! The way these pieces are moving for black is quite crazy. I think perhaps knight onto a4 was better. Yeah. So that if rook b5, then pawn onto e3, and you might attack the bishop, the rook there. But okay, knight onto b1, and now, yeah, much difficulties here. Was that necessary? Could have played here, and after the capture of the rooks, then the bishop would capture here, and there would be a queening that's threatened. But okay, he goes in this direction. E3 captures, and now queen b3, and Doesn't the pawn just push? Okay, 94. But I think here he could have just pushed the pawn twice and gotten a new queen. And if the king would come into the center, then now we can actually have an attack against the king. But okay, misses that opportunity, and it might, it might cost him a bit that he missed that move. So yeah, interesting game here that's going on. So yeah, let's go back and see what's going on with the others. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look again at the high schoolers and see how they are actually progressing here. Yeah, so high schoolers, back to you. Fairmont High now actually, trying to claim a much more larger lead. If you remember, there was only a 2-point difference between the first place and second place, and now there's a 7-point difference. So, and yeah, as the tournament approaches its close, you want to try to make sure that you stay within the reach of reaching the first place school. The moment that this gap starts getting opened more and more, it makes it now a whole difficult thing to actually catch up with them. So yeah, unfortunately for BHS there, and Milnerton by extension. And I think also if you look at the score between BHS and Milnerton, same thing is happening as well. There's a difference between there. If you remember, it was like a 3-point, 4-point difference between the two, but now again the difference is being stretched again. So yeah, suffering a bit. So anyway, let's just see here. Okay, Matthew Webster, the board one of Fairmont versus the board one of President High School. So let's see what's going on. Okay, they're in the end game. Vivian defends up a rook at the moment. I think perhaps there was a blunder at some point, so I'm expecting that he should win this game. So yeah. It's just a question of when, not really a question of how. There's so many things to do. Like for example, you can even try to go for h4 h5, which is what he does. And the idea is you're just trying to provoke some weaknesses here. Well, if you play h5, like that's what you're aiming for, because now open rook queen g5. I don't know whether that might be that accurate, because there might be some few things that, yeah, that h5 might not be good, but let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so queen on f4, just making sure that he's covering the critical points, but now I think perhaps the rook might be aiming to enter into the back ring there, and hopefully there we go. So queen on a5, not only just attacking the pawn on a3, but also covering the square c7. How do you progress as black? So h6 g6. Yeah, I was looking at this idea, but it needed the combination of the rook being on c7 so that you can actually have some nice attacking points here, critical points. But see here, you could actually trade off as well. I think that should be sufficient to win, hopefully. Yeah, queen a3. Okay, now you are playing with fire here. Don't go that side, it's checkmate here. Now there's checks here. And was it a good idea to give black all these pawns now? You know, that's also a question now. That's a new question that's in the position. Queen onto g3. I think I'll trade off as black. Black refuses. This outside pass pawn here, if you are able to protect it, which you can, should be able to offer some drawing chances there. But I think perhaps he might be going for more than just a draw, but he might be going for a win as well. So yeah, perhaps it's a possibility, but to be seen how it actually unfolds. So yeah, let's just see here what's going on. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time, but otherwise black looks like he's actually recovering a bit here. Now queen d2, and I think that should be spelling game over, yeah? Yeah, queen d2, I think you have to go king onto f1, queen e2, king g1, queen there, king here, and that might be mate there. Or king onto f2, not so clear, eh? So you have to come back to f2, I believe. Because if you go to h2, it's mate. Yeah, so f2, queen onto e2, king g1. Looks to be safe a bit. So perhaps there, h5, h4. If you can drive the queen away from protecting the square, then that should be game. Okay, king g7. I don't know. I think you should have just gone h5. No need to play the cautionary step, but at the same time I understand it. Wow, how did Matthew actually turn this around? That is crazy. I thought that white was lost here, but I think white went too far with his thinking and left his position critically loose. Not only that, but also offered some material in order to try to quickly wrap up the game, but unfortunately now the material is turning against him. And now h5, h4, which would be, you know, enticing the queen to take, and then queen g2. So queen f2, I think, is a desperate attempt. I mean, if you go queen d4, trying to trade off now, no, I think you are lost if you know, embark on that decision. So yeah, just a5 here, and should be oh 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 oh. That one deserves a Hail Mary. Wow. Okay. Okay. Matthew Webster. Now 2020, the same thing that's going on in the primary schools is taking place in the high schools. And the distance between the two players has now actually been even more expanded. And yeah, crazy. Let's just see here. You can see Vivia defense won consistently. Matthew now also starting to win consistently here, but still needs more wins in order for him to be able to catch up a bit. Okay, Cheng Yanma, I think that's the other guy with 20 points for Fairmont. So Fairmont doing well. Yeah, and then let's just see the other schools. Matthew Graham. Okay, Edgemead, Milnerton, still going well. Take a look at the primary schools a bit. Let's just dip into them, and then we'll come back to the high school teams. Just see how the kiddies are doing on the other side. Okay, teacher asking here how things are actually going. So let me just respond to her there. Sweet Ray, 94 points. Oh, look at the distance between Matrosberg and Edgemead. Like I said, the more you come to these last few rounds, you'll find that whoever is first place, if they are maintaining a distance, it probably will be a difficult task to actually, catch up a bit. So, yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so crazy, so crazy, so crazy. Um, yeah, it's a difficulty. It's a difficulty, but yeah. Let me just actually give her the link so that she can follow the games. I think I was supposed to have done that a long time ago, but unfortunately, I couldn't now um, do it with some of the schools on time. So I will just let them at least enjoy the last few moments of um, the tournament. Let's see how they continue. But otherwise, looking good, looking good. Edgemead Primary School doing the most, doing the most in the tournament. It's crazy, 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 crazy. So yeah, very nice, nice clean lead. 102 now. Actually, 50 points, 50% or 100% um, from second place. So yeah, wow. Wow, 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 wow. And who are the players that are putting in the punches? Sweet Ray. Let's see his game a bit. See how he's actually, doing. Is he playing? Is he not? Zeke Swartz has to face up with him there. So quite an interesting matchup. So let's see what's happening with them. Um, yeah, yeah. There we go. So Edgemead Primary versus Team Panorama Primary Under 13. Starting out nicely. He's taking out his queen early in the game. Okay, he needed to trade off. And that's important sometimes in these systems with bishop onto f4. Just trade off the bishop that's active. Don't give yourself too much stress, and let's see what's going to happen after that. I would try to tempt with this idea of knight onto b5, but that's only me. And the reason why is because you're trying to get the bishops to be traded, but I think it's incorrect at this moment because bishop takes b5. Oh, okay. No, it's not actually, because bishop takes b5, bishop takes b5. There's no time for you to play queen b4, which would be attacking the bishop and attacking the king, because after bishop takes b5, it's actually check. So queen b6 played, and shall we make things more difficult? Play the move a2 to a4, and if it tries to chase away the piece, then you can just push the pawn to a5. But knight c3, I think now is a cop out, and might actually impact black a bit. Might impact white a bit, but black just says, okay, you know what? Let's just leave the pawn. I'm not gonna take anything here, and okay, interesting. So yeah, um, let's just see what's going on here. All right. Right, okay, knight g4. Did he now make a mistake there? G4. Oh, I see. And the idea perhaps is moves like rook g1, and we are gonna try to work with this open file here. A very interesting decision from Zeke. Knight on d5. Well, and I think these are kind of the moves that a person has to watch out for. Knight on f3 was an attacking piece, and the attacking piece was traded off for perhaps a defender this side, which I understand. But at the same time, you also have to ask questions like, will you have enough to actually open the position on this side so that you don't invest in an idea, but the idea is not going to carry any fruit, you know. So you see now knight on e2, we might be losing this pawn here, and there won't be enough this side here. Yeah, well, okay, now not knight f4. I think perhaps f4 was perhaps an improvement. F4 for f5. Okay, b6. Sweet Ray taking some sweet time as well, trying to exploit the position. But okay, as well. Why do you need to attack? I mean, the king is quite exposed. We can actually go into an end game as well. So I think perhaps Sweet Ray is um, treating this position with the respect that it deserves. Not just trying anything fancy or anything wild. But now Zeke, I think, is going to start packing the punches. Um, Pawn takes e3, f takes e3, queen takes e5 would be attacking there. But now, queen g4, threatening checkmate, and you might have some difficulties here. Okay, where's the knight heading? Not really anywhere at the moment, considering that the squares are covered. So I think a move like queen g4 is okay. Queen g4 is now not available, so second best would be rook on g1. Yeah, queen on 2e actually blunders a queen there. And yeah, if Sweet Ray sees this, then I think the game is over. Yeah. Oh, he misses it. Wow. Hopefully that doesn't turn against him. Hopefully that does not turn against him, because yeah, missing a move like that is the difference between you winning a position and losing it sometimes. But well, you can look forward to, yeah, bishop d3. We can afford to play a move like that because you don't have, oh, you can actually capture here. You can actually capture here because this is not checkmate. The queen is protecting on b2. Plays caution, g6. And now again, I think perhaps get the rook out as quickly as possible so that by the time something happens this side, you at least have some play with a few pieces. Or perhaps I think this needs to get out of the way, but how and where? This king is in so much trouble. So anyway, interesting game there by Sweet Ray and Zig Swaps. Let's just see now, knight f6. Can go king g7. Can try for knight h5, aiming for a draw. Repetition perhaps of moves. Knight onto h5. Okay, plays rook b1. Queen a2. And I think now a mistake has occurred on the board. But at the same time, perhaps he might have calculated it nicely. Rook onto d3. Now the king has to run. King onto e2, queen c2. And I think perhaps the king might be able to cover itself on f3, but and just be careful here, because it takes two moves to actually do something this side. So black has to keep the momentum going. white also has to just avoid unnecessary exposure of the king on critical squares. So yeah, very oh no, and he goes to d1, and now there's tempo to actually capture the rook, and yeah, goodness, and now the queen just goes back to c2, and it's not yet made. No, there was no time for that, I think. Knight h5. Okay, well, the king is safe on g6. Okay, you could play also f6, and that should be fine. f6, queen takes c7, rook f7, and the king is defended. Yeah. So yeah. Wow, that's hectic. That is super hectic. So it's a terrible ordeal that he's in now, and yeah, now it's time to actually clean up for black. Okay, let's just look at some other games. I think our time is almost almost going, and I actually want to still see some games. 106 now for 53. Matrosberg bringing in the points very slowly. Matrosberg is bringing in the points very slowly. Okay, Supagama not doing so well at the moment. Let's just see, where are the other players of Supagama? Okay, the other one is on 20. So, not doing so well. Edgemead now has a third player in the lead. Matthew now also joins third place position. That is crazy there. Okay, MKB trying to keep some stamina for his team, Emitini Primary. Okay, here's some nice matchups here. Let's just see what's going on with these two. All right. Some activity happening on the open file, H file. Let's just see what's going on here. King is in the center. There is no white queen. Okay, what happened here? Shoo. Yeah. Okay, so hectic there, and now also losing a bishop, and the position just also opens as well. So yeah, I think black should be winning this one. Very difficult there. Okay, now let's check some high schoolers again. See what's going on that side. Alright. Will we be having a tournament like this again? Next year perhaps we are looking at trying to make a tournament like this happen again. So yeah, just watch the space there. We might actually make it happen. I think that this is an important tournament. Schools can actually interact with each other through such a tournament. So I think we'll try as much as possible to keep it around. Yeah, definitely one of its kind, but hopefully something that will, inspire some, professional work in this direction. There is a school that I am missing. Merrifield College, 3 players, still on 0, hey? There we go. Rosie's not in. Mary player now on 10 points. And let's just see how the school is actually, trailing a bit. Okay, this is the leaderboard with a few. There we go. So here is the player now. Played about 11 games, yeah? Am I seeing correctly? And this game is ongoing, so let's just check that one out. Okay, this thing leads me to another separate page, and I do not like that, definitely, but okay, let's just bear with it a bit. I think it should not be much of an issue. Just need to remember to actually switch back to the tournament. You can see that the time is actually running down, 19 minutes left up until the end of the tournament. Matthew Graham versus Mary Player. Development looking good, check. And perhaps Queen A5 would be good. Just putting pressure on D2, but might not really, stir any response from White. I think White can actually even play A3, which would force Bishop takes D2 and then Knight takes. So if he doesn't want to trade off, yeah, what I was going to say now, that he should just go back. But unfortunately, where he went back now is the square of the knight, and this is why Queen A4 is so strong. Not looking at the threat there. Now Bishop takes C6. And after takes C6, takes C6, you'll have to go to King F7. Otherwise, you lose the rook if you block with the queen. So very difficult position. King F7, you have to protect E6. I think you can actually capture on F6 now, which opens the E-file, 1. So capture on F6 opens the E-file, which is the first thing that you want to attack E6. And also perhaps you're playing against G6 a bit. So yeah, very important there. Very important idea there. So yeah, but let's just see how does Matthew actually go about this idea. So he plays queen onto a6. What did he play before? He played b3. And yeah, I think players must also, somehow, what's the word? Improve their sense of time. Because you needed to play f6 to try to get the knight on g5 to attack the king. So, but at the same time, okay, it's understandable a bit. Yeah, there's so many things that you could have done if you opened the position. b3, for example, I didn't understand. Bishop onto a5. Shoo. Okay, you can save yourself here still. It's not the end of the world. Queen c8. Then you can't capture here, otherwise loses the queen. So yeah. Wow. Did that just happen now? Oh, he must be kicking himself there. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, Mary player back into the swing. The best player currently for Merrifield. Best. Now, still leading. So let's just see what's going on. There we go. So the tide, that's the table of the okay, and now is that a piece? No. So yeah, bishop d8, I think. Just trade everything off because now you are totally winning. You could take on d8 or take on c3 as well. But just keep it simple. Keep it simple because now everything is just going well. Okay, cool. I think black should be able to um, win that game comfortably. Wow. Wow. Um, BHS still trying to maintain a bit, but now with that queen blunder against Merrifield, I think BHS now is gonna suffer a bit. It needs these points and cannot just give them away that like that. So hectic, but okay. Let's just see what's happening with the other schools. Edgemid, when last did we see you? Let's just see here. Edgemid number 4. And interesting game. More active for white, but white doesn't have a queen. And doesn't have good compensation for not having a queen. So yeah, it's a sad one. But it seems as if there might be some tricks here. I think I'd recommend bishop takes b3. Because if you try to save the rook, then knight takes e6. And you don't want to take that side considering that the queen might be hanging. And I think we're heading in that direction. So just watch the space, knight e6, f6, and takes on e6, and you get the queen back. But an introduction into some other matters. Yo! Yay! So close, but yet so far. Shame. And he captures there. That is a bad decision, I think, because okay, now he has to play bishop onto e3, I think, and try to close down with the bishop. I think more subtle was bishop onto e3 for bishop g1, because you are banking on this tactic of attacking the king and the bishop, but with the move h3, you are actually asking the queen to move away from the tactic, and unfortunately, this tactic won't be enough for rook e6. Of course, if black is careless, then rook e2 check, but yeah, I think black won't allow that to happen. But you might find that there might be queen f1 here, king h2, and rook onto f2, and then checkmate like that. So yeah, just be careful there. Throws in the towel, I guess. But it makes sense. Okay, Cheng Yan now leading for the Fairmont team. Very interesting there. And where is his game currently? Matthew Webster, DJ Donut. Yeah, BHS. And, well, BHS now second place. And the president actually made its way up. Vivia defense there. But still not enough of it. But not so far. Not so far. I think he's trying his best. War Squall, DF Milan. suffering a bit, but okay, I see. So let's see here. Firewolf versus Vivia Defense. Yeah, I think Vivia Defense is losing out on a lot of opponents, considering that he's at the top at the moment. So he plays now the 35th player in the tournament. Okay, so let's see how things actually run here. So yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much to those who are tuning in. Thank you very much. We appreciate it that you are participating. Yeah, let me just thank you very much. Thank you to the schools. Shout out to the schools who couldn't make it and also supported the initiative. And thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it greatly. Yeah, and all the proceeds of the tournament here will be going towards the children who are playing in the Mzansi Youth Interprovincial Chess Championships, who are in the Delft Chess Club. So yeah, this is our way of saying all the best to them, and may they succeed. Okay, now Rook A8 and Rook A7, checkmate, and that should be game over. Yeah, there we go. Easy spot, easy spot. Yeah. Looking nice. Let's go back to the primary schools and see what's going on. And for those who are tuning in, this is a matchup between some primary schools, Metrosberg, Sopagama, Somerset, Edgemead, Panorama, Emitini, and there's a 7th school, Aberdeen Primary, couldn't get the badge on time. And then there's high schools as well. And these high schools are battling, primary schools are battling for the crown of being the Delft Online Fundraiser Chess Tournament winner. So yeah, definitely trying to make themselves reach the top. So yeah, anyway, let's go to the primaries and see how they are also doing, and then after that we will call this a night, I guess, considering that there's only 7 minutes on the clock. Are we still with the high schools? No, we want to be with the primary schools. There we go. Edgemead now leading greatly. I think Matrosberg has to unfortunately fight to remain on second place. Somerset House 5 points away. Can you push it to surpass perhaps Matrosberg Primary? Let's see. Aberdeen Primary still hasn't yet done anything significant since the last time. So Pagama Primary School now picking up a bit the pace and is on 31 points. Emitini Primary, it's crazy, is on 5th place but only has 2 players participating. So the players are fighting. To also be relevant in the tournament, you know. So yeah, that's nice. Then let's see. Sweet Ray leading for Edgemead, Colton Prime for Matrosberg, Max Kimmich, Zig Swartz, all the way to Pagati and Asmanye still for the primary school team. Mr. Softstep and Dino the Goat. There we go, Asmanye there. There we go. So let's see what's going on here. Matrosberg teams would be Carlton, CR7, Kyle Silver, Waza Q, 1234, and Tasrik J. Nice. Okay. So let's see how they are actually doing. Okay. Wi-Fi acting up a bit considering that the weather is contrary this side. So I'll apologize if there was any, gaps and delays in the stream. Yeah, but okay, still going ahead. 4 minutes left and the tournament is done. So I think perhaps we can actually leave it to play on this game. Yeah, or can we select another game? Let's just see which game might be interesting to actually settle on so that we can actually see the remainder of the tournament going. Edgemid, I think I like the Edgemid game, yeah, because Edgemid is leading. It's the second place versus the first place. So yeah, let's just sit with this one. Let's just check something quickly. Irregular mystery. Where are you? Okay, let's just check something here. Okay, nice, 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 nice. Teams are doing very well. Nice. So, players could made it at least till the end of the tournament, which is great. Let's just check something quickly. 2 minutes left and we'll see what's going on here. Okay, there the players also just conversing in the chat. No cheese. Okay, I don't know what that means. So yeah, just see something in the high schools that's raising eyebrows. Just check that. High schools. Okay, there we go. And we are looking at a game from oh wow, okay, some few players that I know are actually here. So let's just see here what's going on. There. Okay. Quite Nice. I'll have to check it some other time. But okay, there we go. 39 seconds in. And let's just play this game, see till the end, and see what's going on there. Okay, and there is the conclusion of the tournament. Let's just see what's going on there. Right, the tournament concludes even though some few players will still be playing and finishing their games, but unfortunately when the clock hits 0, then that means the scores are tabulated completely, and those who win after the time has elapsed, unfortunately their scores will not be counting for the tournament. Okay, Vivia Defense, 48 points, 28 points, Matthew Webster, Bert, foolish player. So, President High School, first place. Wow, okay. That is surprising. Wow. That is shocking. So somehow they managed to recover a bit. Matthew Webster, Fairmont High School, second place. BHS Chess Club, Milnerton, fourth place. And Edgemead, fifth place. So we'll have to... Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, Merrifield College, Hoërskool DF Milan and Rosis. Actually, yeah, trailing behind, didn't even play one game. But okay, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. And here the guys are wishing each other a good game on the what do you call it, on the games. And the others are now actually asking each other if they're on Instagram. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do with the tournament. Just create the environment that says, yo, we can actually, play this chess, but at the same time, formulate some connection. So, great result from the high school teams. At the last minute, at least, President pulled through. So, yeah, congratulations to them. Edgemead, first place for the primary school side. Matroosberg Primary, second place. Somerset House Primary Team and Team Panorama. MTD Chess Club and Sopagama Primary School. Aberdeen Primary School. Amazing stuff. There we go. And Sweet Ray, Matthew, the Colominga. The 3 leaderboard players still maintained their lead till the end. Congratulations to them. That was amazing. And yeah, this was actually great, guys. This was great to see. Thank you very much again to the schools that participated. Thank you very much to the teachers, chess coordinators who availed themselves. And it was a difficult ordeal as well in terms of registration, considering that this is the first time some schools were actually exposed to this platform, but you were able to actually pull through, and that's amazing. So yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations to the winning schools. And I am also going to be signing out from my side as well. But otherwise, this was absolutely fantastic, absolutely great. The team spirit was amazing. And Yeah, just check the chat there from the primary school side, see what they were saying there. Ah, well, nothing much, nothing much. There we go. All right, everybody, may you have a good night, and hope you enjoyed this. And you can actually tag some of your schools to actually look at the broadcast so that they can be on the lookout for their names as well. And thank you to everyone who was actually involved. All right, thanks a lot, guys, and have a good night. Thank you.